Hello, everyone. Welcome back for the first time to Back Lot Banter, a show that some of you may be familiar with, but not in this context. We are rebranding Back Lot Banter. This is a reboot of Back Lot Banter, a show very similar to Back Log Banter, something you might be
Yeah, no one
familiar
cares
with.
about that one, though.
No one cares about that one because that's about video games. This, ladies and gentlemen, this is about film,
The
movies,
people's
cinema.
entertainment.
Yes, of course. Much more affordable than video games. So we'd appreciate if you could watch this show. Maybe do some community engagement. Leave a comment, like this video, subscribe to Backlog Banter if you're not already. Join our Discord. That link is in the description. And let us know what movies you've been watching. We'll feature you on the next episode of Backlog Banter, which will happen monthly. This is part of a rotating Saturday schedule that we have here on Backlog Banter, the channel, not the show, like I said, which is inferior to Backlot Banter, the show you're watching
entire
right now.
channel. Wow.
Yeah,
We're submitting the entirety of our 800 plus videos.
Yeah,
by
absolutely.
Starting the show. Good God.
Yeah. Yeah,
Might as well delete it.
It's crazy. It's crazy, I know.
We've
But
peaked.
what the show will consist of is it's basically like I said, a backlog banter, but better because it's movies, where we will talk about a handful of the movies that we've been watching this last month, and we will also do a little topic for you in the latter half. I'll put some time codes down in the description that you can find and click through in case you don't want to hear us ramble on about whatever random bullshit we've been watching.
Yeah.
But without further ado, who would like to do the inaugural movie on Backlot Banter?
The inaugural movie on Backlot Banter. That's a little bit daunting. Why don't we all three do the inaugural movie together? Because I believe you two just came from seeing a film at the theater, which I've also seen.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Look at that.
We have. Of course, Tucker and I just got out of Drive My Car, the film. I forget. I want to get the director's name correctly. It is a foreign film. It's a Japanese film. But I would like to throw it over to one of you guys. That's why you can
see our brains are currently bulging out of our skulls. We experienced foreign cinema in a theater.
3 hours of it.
Two little white boy brains can barely handle that.
Yes, of course.
Indeed, Tucker.
But Timo, when did you see this film? Because you said you saw it.
Yeah, I saw it about a week ago at the local art house cinema here down in the Austin land. And yeah, I went mid-afternoon screening, and surprisingly, they had extended it. They'd filled up all the screening slots, and then they opened up a bunch more that weekend. And so went and saw it with a friend, and well, I'm just gonna say I really enjoyed it. I thought that was a really good movie, really fascinating. And I've got my one spicy take about the film right now. is that you know what kind of car I like, right? I am a square car kind of guy. I do actually like Swedish cars even. And so you'd think that this film would appeal to me in that the main car is a Saab, but unfortunately the main car is a Saab, which is the arch enemy, the arch rival of a Volvo. God. And I'm a Volvo man. And so I even though the car is a great character in the film, I was just
you're fuming.
I was like,
anytime there was a car on the screen, you're like,
I was like, man, if this main car was a Volvo, this would be perfect.
Yes.
This is 10 out of 10. As it stands, 2 out of 10.
Nah,
I can't stand the Saab.
Yeah. I did pull up the director's name. It's by Ryuzuki Hamaguchi. Very talented director from seeing this film alone. I'll echo Timo in that, not that I did like the car, but that I really love the film. I like the car. I like the film. I like everyone in the film. I think it's a beautifully shot movie. There's something very simple about Drive My Car, and yet something very profound about it at the same time. I think that's what it excels at, is being profound in its own simplicity. Tucker, you made a comment to me as you were walking out of the theater. I wonder if you want to share that.
Yeah, it's interesting because this film grabbed me in a special way that I don't usually experience with films. I'm a very avid film watcher, believe it or not, and I sort of watch films in my own mindset each time. Like, I am a film person, and I am watching this, and I will compare this to other films as I'm watching a film, and I'm always thinking like, oh, this reminds me of this, reminds me of this. But when I was watching Drive My Car, I kind of pulled myself out of that and watched it from an entirely different perspective. And of course, that doesn't make a ton of sense. But what I came to realize about this film is that I have not personally seen almost anything like it tonally or pacing wise. This is a very unique film in that all its characters and all the emotional beats that it goes through are. I used the word dry initially, but Tanner was like, maybe that's kind of an insult. I'm like, okay, no, I'll reframe it. And he used the word reserved, which I think is a great way to describe the way this puts its characters through pretty interesting situations, relatively simple but interesting situations, and holds back as much emotion as it can until the very end, which there are a couple emotional scenes. But this is such a web of character moments and slow discussion and discovery that it's kind of hard to describe. I mean, I would not know easily how to describe the plot. Maybe I would say this is about a playwright whose wife dies and he is dealing with his own internal fallout after that. But then again, maybe that's not completely true because the movie doesn't lean super heavily into that, but it's obviously a very strong through line throughout the film. It's an endlessly fascinating movie, and frankly, while I'm having a good time talking about it now, it's a film that I think I'll prefer to sort of ruminate on in my own head. Like I have a very personal experience with this film, and frankly, I don't give a fuck what anyone else thinks about this movie. Like just the experience of watching it in my own head is the most important thing about this film, and I'll endlessly reflect on that, and it's probably when I end up logging on Letterboxd, putting it on my list as I love to do, I would probably be up there on my 2021 list.
Yeah, I feel the same way, Tucker. This is a film that I really need to think on and ruminate about what all these things sort of symbolize, and what the director and the writer. I think Hamaguchi is also the writer of this film, although it's based on a previously existing book, I believe.
Probably.
But yeah, what he's trying to express in all of this, in 3 hours of this, I will say 3 hours was a bit daunting going into this because I knew it wasn't going to be action packed to keep you going through, but it was enrapturing in a different sense, in that you become very invested in the story of what is the main character's name? Yusuke Kafuku.
Yeah, Mr. Kafuku.
Yeah.
Yes. You become very engaged in his story and how he's coming to terms with, like Tucker said, the death of his wife, and as well as his driver, who is another central character in the film, who drives his car, and yeah, and the actors who are taking part in this play that he is directing. So yeah. I would recommend Drive My Car if you're a bit of a foreign film sort of enthusiast.
Foreign filmophile.
Yes, exactly. I maybe wouldn't recommend this to someone who this is their first foreign film. I would ease them in a little bit before dropping them in the deep end of a 3-hour meditation on grief and life and what it means to come to terms with losing a loved one.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that because I definitely agree. Though I would say I've personally found this to be more engaging than I do find a lot of foreign films. I mean, I love a lot of foreign films, but when you present me with a 3-hour slow foreign film, my mind does not go engaging personally. But I found this to be a lot more engaging, I think, because there is such a different pace to it, and you're never sure what's going to happen next. Like, there's no clear direction for this film, and it's very meandering. But because of that, I was very on the edge of my seat. Like, frankly, I felt like someone could get T-boned at any second. Like every time they were in the car, I was like, someone's gonna fucking die, and that made me like very focused for 3 hours.
Yeah, Tucker, you used the word reserved. Man, great.
Well, Tanner used it, and I echoed it.
Yeah. Well, reserved has been tossed around,
but you can attribute it to me.
Sure.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Yeah, I feel like that just describes not only like the plot, not only the acting, I mean, is the direction. I think the whole film just like it gets into that, like, it doesn't say a lot, like, obviously, but I think there's so much there. I think the film is just it's an ocean wide and it's an ocean deep. It takes forever.
It's an ocean.
It's an ocean of a film. Yeah.
If it looks like an ocean and walks like an ocean, it's an ocean.
There you go. Yeah, I found it super enjoyable to watch and think about. And, we'll see, Oscar season's coming up.
Yeah.
Unclear if it will slot its way into the Best Picture nominee, and we will get to talk about it again on Quest. But I'm pretty sure this is
fascinating.
This is a real shoe-in for a foreign film nomination, at least. I mean, it's just surely excellent.
right now, I think it's really climbing the ranks of probably second place for that win. In my opinion, from what I have been paying attention to the race of.
It's currently at number 13 for Best Picture on Gold Derby, which of course doesn't really actually fucking mean anything.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to see of what people are expecting. 13 out of 10.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's not
that's pretty
quite
high
there,
up there. Yeah.
But good Lord, Don't Look Up is in Dune are above this. And I really think that's a fucking travesty.
Well,
so
we'll get around to those in due time. Don't you worry, dear viewer. But yeah, I don't want to spend too long because, like I said, I'm sure we have quite a few movies that we'd love to get to, and as well as the topic for this episode are anticipated films of 2022.
Yeah.
But does anyone want to take the baton from here? Otherwise, I will do it.
Timo's gonna do it.
I'm gonna take the baton right now because
Go for it, Timo.
a while ago I ended up. I live with some friends from high school, and we occasionally get together and have movie nights. We've been kind of roughhouse around the weekend, so we just wanted to have a fun movie night. And me and my roommate Peter, who is Russian, have sort of been getting into like World War II movies. And I was telling Peter about like me like watching war movies and being like sort of interested in them, because I kind of always have been. And he was like, "Oh, we got to watch this movie T-34, which is." A Russian knockoff.
That's the 34th Terminator movie.
Oh man,
holy
cranking them out.
Shit.
I've been cranking them out. James Cameron, what a guy.
Yeah, really, he's a sequel master. But this film, Russian made, totally made with outside of the Hollywood system. Action modern blockbuster from like 2018. But critically, it's only okay. But I had so much fun watching it because I was watching it. I speak a little bit of German. And of course, it's World War II. The Germans are the enemies. And then there's the Russians. And Peter knows Russian. And his friend, my friend also, Vlad, came down. And so me and the Russians were watching this movie and just hooting and hollering. And when they shoot a tank and they do cool tank moves and there's copious slow motion, so much slow motion in this movie, we'd just be like, yeah, like yelling like in Russian, like davai, davai, and like... Wasn't, it's a total popcorn cinema. Yeah. But yeah, man, fun. It's just so much fun.
Now, Timo, what year is T-34 from?
2018, you said.
Yeah, 2018.
Oh, did I? I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I'm very, very
I was
sorry.
actually on my phone driving my car in Letterboxd. I picked up on that.
Oh my god, I'm very sorry.
I'm the master of multitasking.
Well, Tucker, to that end, since you're so engaged, I will challenge you to take on the next film. What have you watched, Tucker?
It's fine by me. One of the more interesting films that I've watched recently was for my the first film I watched for any film classes this semester. We just started school last week, and for my science fiction film genre class, I watched Oblivion, which is a 2013 sci-fi movie starring Tom Cruise and Morgan Freeman.
Who directs that?
Joseph Kosinski of Tron Legacy fame.
Tron Legacy.
Okay.
Now, I've not seen Tron Legacy, but I sincerely doubt that it's as good as Oblivion because, as I'm going to get into, I really liked Oblivion. It's a sci-fi movie of way in the fucking future. Like this is some next future shit where almost all human life on the planet has been wiped out by a war with a group known as the Scavs. And now the planet is uninhabitable. So humanity is in a ship just off the planet, and they are draining the Earth of what resources they can collect, so they can get the fuck out of there and move somewhere else. And the last two people on the planet are Tom Cruise, whose character's name is Jack, and his partner, played by Andrea Riseborough, whose name is Victoria.
She's from Possessor, right?
I can find out in approximately 2 seconds when Letterboxd loads.
Yeah.
Yes, she's in.
Yes, she's good. I like her.
Yeah, and the two of them are the cleanup crew. They're protecting the drones, and making sure everything goes smoothly so humanity can get out of there. But none of that's true.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of interesting reveals about what actually happened and who they are and why they're the last two people and who the Scavs were and what their history was. And it goes 6 ways from Sunday, left, right, and up and center. And I found it really fascinating because of that. And it's got a strong visual style. Everything is super like clean and white and pristine, but it's like that's the only touch of humanity left on the planet because everything else has been reduced to rubble. Like you see kind of like Planet of the Apes, you see like the hand of the Statue of Liberty sticking out of a beach, or like the ruins of the Empire State Building or whatever, and
Sure.
so everything has been destroyed except for this like one house that's on like a stick above the ocean, and he flies this copter that's made of bubbles, and it's kind of crazy.
The only context I have for the film Oblivion is seeing trailers for it all the way back in 2013 when I was a wee lad, and there's one shot in the trailer that's ingrained in my mind, and it's Tom Cruise flying his bubble car or whatever, and it does
it's
like
a helicopter
dive.
made of different kinds of spheres. I said bubbles, but I didn't mean there's literally made of like fucking
soap bubbles.
But he does like a sweet dive in it off like a waterfall or something like that. Is that in the movie?
Waterfall. Oh, yeah, there's sort of like a chase sequence. That might be what that's from.
God. Okay.
Well, I highly recommend it. It's very
Sure.
different, and frankly, I never heard of it before this, so
Yeah.
it was kind of interesting to find. Oh, this high production value Tom Cruise action sci-fi movie released in 2013, when, believe it or not, I was alive and cognizant of film, is something I've never heard of before, and I found that to be interesting.
Yeah. Wow. And you had to watch for class too.
Yes.
Okay.
We also watched Metropolis for the same class, and
classic
film. I guess it's my turn now, and
Mhm.
I'll do another 2021 film. Something that I've been doing. It's early in the year. I'm doing some catch up on the year previous, and one of the films that I watched was the film Red Rocket by Sean Baker.
Oh, I've been meaning to see that one. I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, well, I'll try to avoid spoilers for it, but it's not particularly a spoiler-full movie. It's more of it's I wouldn't say a slice of life, because slice of life implies that you can relate to it on some level. And the protagonist of Red Rocket is not someone you should or I would recommend relating to, because he's a bad guy. He's just a really shitty person through and through. He's a down and out.
Is this a Joker movie?
Yes, it's a Joker movie of sorts. He's a down and out ex porn star who goes back to his home of Texas City, gesturing to the two Texas boys,
which
here.
is a real place. Yeah, it's near Houston.
He moves back in with his ex-wife and her mother, and sort of tries to take the reins on the town in which he once palled around in. He has sort of a friend who lives there who sort of looks up to him and is like, oh my god, this guy made it in LA as a porn star or whatever. That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, that is literally the thing. Is like you get the sense that this guy doesn't have a lot going on in his life, and he's like, "Oh man, my friend gets to have sex for money for a living. That's crazy." And the protagonist, I forget his name. I'm sorry, but he does.
John.
He really does live up to this persona. He's very much like an egotistical narcissist through and through, who's like, yeah, I'm the hottest shit on the planet Earth. Everyone should think I'm the coolest guy ever. He's fast talking. He's lying to people all the time to make money. He starts selling weed from an old acquaintance of his. He gets into a relationship with a minor in the film, so that's something that you should know about going in. And ultimately, as you might assume, things do not stay good for him forever.
Sure.
But on a more outside level, what I think of the film, I thought it was good. I gave it a 7 out of 10. I think I've seen only one other Sean Baker film, The Florida Project, which I also thought was fine. He has a very distinct filming style where he makes these colors pop. And even in this sort of like rundown town of Texas City, he makes all these like mundanities of like rural American life pop with color and stuff like that, which I can really appreciate. I will say I will spoil
proper representation for Tanner's lifestyle.
Well, yes, of course. I will spoil one thing. There's a needle drop. There's 3 needle drops of the same song in this film, and that is the song "Bye Bye Bye" by NSYNC, a song that we all know and love. The first time is when he's rolling up to the house on a bus. He's bruised and stuff because he got beat up somewhere. The last time is during the close of the film, which I will not talk about. But the middle time is when our protagonist, our hero, not hero, he's a bad guy, like I said, is running down the street, stark nude, in the wee hours of the morning. The sun is cresting in the horizon behind him.
I can
stark
imagine
nude
this imagery.
Yeah, stark nude, dick flopping around to the tune of NSYNC's "Bye Bye Bye." It is one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. This film is funny. It's heartbreaking in some moments. It's funny. It's funny.
It made you laugh.
It made you laugh in a lot of ways.
Many have been saying this.
I don't know how many other adjectives I can apply to this because
penis.
Go watch Red Rocket. It's pretty good. Don't watch it with your parents.
No, yeah, I kind of guessed it was that kind of movie. Another friend of mine.
Invite the folks over.
Oh yes. Hey, Dad, come on.
Invite your girlfriend's parents over.
Yeah, exactly.
Your girlfriend's grandparents while you're at it.
Why not? Get the whole
and her
fam.
little brother.
Get the whole fam. Yeah.
I've been recommended to watch that film, so definitely going up near the top of the list for me.
Timo, I believe it's back around to you if you have another one. Yes.
Well, I'm going to kind of we're going to travel back in time, and I'm going to follow Tucker's lead in talking about class movies, because I'm in film class, film school, but I'm in some interesting stuff. So the one that I'm most excited about is this class of Russian cinema, because of course I'm in Russian cinema. The roommate's vibe is just rubbing off on me. But this week, we had to watch this film from 1917, which is the year of the double Russian Revolution and World War I. Basically, as known when everything went to shit in Russia. And so we were assigned to watch a silent film from that time. And oh my God, this film, I don't know why I just didn't get what was going on in it. We had a lecture today and talking about like what we understand about how like life is movement and sound and death is art and still like, oh my God. I don't know. I just didn't get it at all.
Yeah.
Which was, it was a fine movie, and there were interesting elements of it. It had beautiful sets. I thought the sets were far above, this 1917, like over 100 years old. What you're used to seeing, like Great Train Robbery.
They made a movie about that, I think.
I think they did. It's a famous year in the history of cinema. But some interesting elements to it. Silent film, kind of tough to watch at times. But
sure. Can you repeat the name of that to me? Because I missed it.
Yeah, it was The Dying Swan. I don't know if I said
the
name.
Dying Swan.
The Dying Swan. About a mute ballerina. And so I've been doing a lot of thinking about a film that I...
Mute ballerina ties back to Drive My Car. One of the side characters is a mute dancer herself.
Yeah, perhaps.
Also, The Shape of Water was reviewed on Quest this week.
True, very true.
Which I have not watched yet.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Oh come on!
We're recording in 2 days, man. We're recording in 2 days. I got time, bro.
Oh boy! But yeah,
right, my turn again.
Yeah, go for it, Tucker.
I don't have anything to say about this old movie. Old
Yuck!
I've been watching lots of old movies because all these classes are like we got to start at the beginning, and so we're in the ancient times.
Yeah, well, I actually have not been watching very many old movies because the majority of this month has been taken up by a lot of binges, which I think Tanner will probably get to.
You can talk about those.
But I want to talk about the first movie I saw this year.
Okay.
I was not in movie mood for the first 2 weeks of the year. I didn't actually see any movies, but as I was reaching that 2-week point on January 11th, I was yanked back to cinemas for a modern classic, some might say, which is The 355.
Oh, hello.
The 355 was sort of the first theatrical release of the year, I think. Yeah. And it's another action movie. In which Jessica Chastain, Lupita Nyong'o, Penelope Cruz, Diane Kruger, and Fan Bingbing, and with Sebastian Stan, are secret agents. And that's basically all I remember, because this is one of the most forgettable, generic action movies I've ever seen in my entire life. The entire conceit and draw of this film is, hey, famous female actresses are coming together to do an action movie. And you know what? Good for them. I'm glad we're getting more female-led action movies. That's great for not having Tom Cruise lead the fucking 40 of them a year.
Come on now. He's pushing 60. We can let him have it.
He's had it for like 30 years.
Yeah, but just let him have it until he kicks the bucket, I say.
Yeah, you like Tom Cruise in that Oblivion movie.
I don't dislike Tom Cruise. I'm just saying. I would
sounds like
rather
you hate
someone
Tom
else.
Cruise.
Yeah, Tucker, we need to visit that.
Basically. But the funniest thing about this film is I saw it with my friends. Tanner was there, and he can attest to the fact that we just did not know what was going on like the entire time. I fell asleep for a solid chunk of it, which probably didn't help.
You really did.
I really did. They were escaping on a motorcycle chase like 30 minutes into the film. I fell asleep and I woke up. They were like sitting in a bar having a drink. I'm like, okay, all right, whatever. Yeah. But this movie has one really funny element, which is
I know what you're
it was
about.
very clearly shot under pandemic conditions in certain ways, but also it was designed to appeal to a Chinese market, and that a Chinese character is very obviously inserted into the film in a way that she is not in for the most part in shots with the other actresses, so it's clear she was not on set.
Yeah.
and the lines were not lined up. It was really funny.
I think you can count maybe on one hand the amount of like shots or shot sequences that Fan Bingbing is in with other famous actresses in this movie. Yeah. It is once one of our other friends that we went with pointed it out. It was grossly egregious and noticeable how often it is just a single shot of her. She very well could have been on set for some of those. It could just be how this film was shot, because it's just a lot of like shallow focus with single shots of an actress like talking about some secret plan or microchip or USB or whatever they're chasing down in this movie. But yeah, not a good movie.
No, a very poor movie, actually.
Yes.
Great way to start the year, though. Just shitting on a dumb fucking action movie.
Yeah. Now, Tucker, I'm gonna hop aboard this train of negativity and talk about the most recent film that I really, really didn't like, and that is Bad Luck Banging, or Looney Porn.
Oh.
Now, I don't want the audience.
All right, you're 2 for 2 with porn-based films.
Well, I don't want the audience.
Continue it?
I don't want the audience to think that I'm some sort of
next up, Tanner's
debauchery enjoyer.
Tanner's just gonna be like, "Yeah, I was watching like hot babes in bathtubs 4."
But this is a Romanian film.
Okay.
Epic based foreign film.
No, it's really, really bad, and I'll get to why. But this film was again shot under pandemic conditions, and alludes to that fact many times. The characters are wearing masks throughout the entire film. But the conceit of this film is that there's a school teacher who has a certain a video of her the depiction.
Watch your wording very carefully here.
Okay. There's an adult video that she features in leaked online. Is essentially what the inciting incident is. And you on the surface you think, okay, I can sort of see how a dark comedy sprouts from this. That is what the film is pitched
I'd
as.
say a normal comedy.
Yeah.
Frankly.
I like comedy.
I think it becomes a dark comedy because while this film is relatively short, it's split into 3 acts. The first and the third act are about like parts. Like it literally comes up with the title card.
I was fucking joking.
It comes up with the title card that says part 1, part 2, part 3. The first and third part are about the story. The second part is what I can describe as a 30 to 35 minute cutaway series of cutaway gags that is word in Romanian, definition either in some philosophical sense or a literal sense, and then a video or picture on screen. This goes on, like I said, for 30 minutes. It attempts to be profound, it attempts to be funny in those 30 minutes, and it does not land at all. Sometimes I'm at a loss for words because of how much I hated this film. And I'll get to the rest of it in a bit. But I described it as like if you took like an edgy 16-year-old and told him to write a dark comedy, because it'll show like pictures of dead bodies alongside like a definition, and then it'll like hard cut to like blowjob, and then it's just a video of that. It is unfunny. It is shocking for the sake of being shocking and not much else. When you get to the actual plot of the film, it's meandering. The first act is basically just our protagonist walking around whatever city in Romania she's in, while the camera sort of lazily drifts behind her. The third part, is this sort of hearing that she is in front of a bunch of other parents. And this is where the film gets to lecture you on what you should believe.
Interesting.
Because it makes
I always want a porn-based movie to lecture me about what I should believe.
It really, because it makes the unlikable characters so cartoonishly unlikable that because they believe all the wrong things. They believe she should be fired, and one of them like has the video downloaded on her iPad and shows all the other parents. Like, there's nothing redeeming about any of these people, for a good reason, I understand, but it is. They name drop like communism, and the masks are communism, and everything like that. It's just like this filmmaker venting about everything that he's frustrated with the political scope of things right now, and it just doesn't come across. And it ends with, and stick with me here.
Okay.
I feel like this film is going to get I feel like this video is going to get demonetized with the amount of insane stuff that I'm saying.
I don't think that's how demonetization works.
There are 3 different endings for this film that it runs through. The last of which, what the film ends on, is our main character transforming into some sort of rip-off Wonder Woman, throwing a net over the entire group of people, and then shoving a large phallic sex toy down their throats.
Okay.
Sure.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm following.
And that's it ends on a freeze frame. It ends on a freeze frame.
Awesome. Ending on a freeze frame. Really great. Taken out of Francis Truffaut's book, I guess.
Yeah. There you go.
Francis.
But we don't have to linger on this, Timo. You can go ahead if you'd like.
All right. Well, I'm gonna do a.
I'm gonna limit us to 1 more each. That's what I'm gonna do.
Well, I'm gonna not do that.
3 each is good.
And I'm gonna say that this is a doubleheader because me watching anime movies this time around in this time of the year. Briefly,
is that a seasonal experience for Timo Nelson?
It could be, yeah, it could be. We'll see. I watched both Nausicaa and the Valley of the Wind, which very good movie. I don't really think I need to say a whole lot about that. But then I also watched Mind Game, which is Masaaki Yuasa's like first film, and that was one of the most like boundary pushing, like truly just batshit crazy animated movies that I've ever seen. I love this guy. I love the stuff, the other like TV shows that he's made and some of the other movies. But this one is his like first. He hadn't been tamed by the industry. He hadn't been his sharp corners rounded down. It's mixed medium. It switches between like 2D, 3D. There's like still pictures in there. There's like. It makes no sense, and yet you're like, oh, yes, this makes a lot of sense. There's a great, like, oh my, it's so much fun. It's so crazy. Just I don't really have the words to describe it. In that, like, the main character dies at the beginning by getting a gun shoved up his bum and then shot, and he goes and visits. Sure. He goes and visits God, and God torments him for a while, being like, "Dude, you're a loser." And he's like, "Okay, you get a chance to fix this." He's like, "You're a loser. You suck. Okay, I've got a date. I'm gonna go meet up with some other." I don't know. It's like super. It's great. It's a lot of fun. If you are in the mood to get your mind totally twisted and in a knot, to have it played with, perhaps in a little mind game. I'd recommend it. It's a lot of fun. Very good.
Sure. Tucker.
I think that my last film of today is just going to be the Scream series, because we watched all the Scream movies leading up to the release of what's colloquially known as 5 Cream, which is the 5th Scream film. And I had only seen the first one before this, and I knew vaguely that the franchise was intended as Wes Craven's response to how formulaic horror films have been, and doing a meta narrative about that. And the entire series is very entertaining. I think it's a very consistent series. There's not any particular low points. Though I found, having watched all of them, that I personally think that the fifth one is actually the best. Which is heresy,
Sacrilege.
I guess. And so I enjoyed the absolute piss out of watching all of them, but especially the fifth one, which just came out in theaters not too long ago. And it's it's still in theaters as the time we're recording this. It was the highest grossing film last week, actually, knocking off Spider-Man No Way Home for the first time. Spider-Man No Way Home was number one grossing film at the box office for 5 weeks straight.
Yeah, but then it came back. It came back more recently.
Is that true?
Yeah, it's back on top again.
Okay, Box Office Mojo doesn't have this week's stats until Thursday, so I'll know for sure on Thursday.
I was listening to NPR, and they made a big deal about it a couple days ago.
Scream 5 Cream is very good. I can attest. Oh, sorry, I didn't know if you were done or not. Continue.
Well, I was just gonna say, if you're interested in horror franchises and you're interested in horror as I am, watching Scream is sort of in retrospect now I realize it's sort of a must to realize how ridiculous horror stuff is. Of course I know that, but having someone point it out is a lot of fun. I watch a lot of
master of the genre also. Wes Craven pointing it out. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And the fifth one respects the legacy of the franchise a lot. It follows the original intent of making fun of horror movies to a fucking T, and it's got some really great moments in it. This whole series does. It's got what I didn't know would be a pretty compelling core cast of characters that continues through all 5 films, and of whom stories I was very invested in when I got to see the fifth one in theaters.
Yes. I was really surprised by 5 Cream, because I thought it was just going to be some lazy cash in, but no, it does have something to say about the requel, as this film dubs it, and as lots of other
legacy sequels, term that I prefer now.
Which is what it is, and it knows that's what it is, so it uses that standpoint to make fun of other films and itself to some degree.
Yeah, and it's just a good movie. It's a good entry in the franchise.
Yeah, I agree. My final one, I'm going to I'm gonna end my us and my recommendation, or my movies that they're not all recommendations, as you may have clued into. But I'm gonna end us on a positive, wholesome note, as opposed to the other films that I've talked about. I'm talking about Come On, Come On, the 2021 film from Mike Mills.
Okay.
I really, really, really loved this film. I watched it a couple weeks ago, and Mike Mills is principally a documentarian. This is his first narrative film, I believe, and he knocks it out of the park. It's Joaquin Phoenix is really the only well-known star of this. He's our main character, who is also a documentarian. Not a far leap for Mike Mills there, but Joaquin Phoenix is put in charge of his nephew, because his sister is in a different city looking after her husband, who is going through a sort of bipolar episode with a move or something like that. So the film is principally Joaquin Phoenix and Norm. The kid's name is Norman. The actor's name, sorry. And they traverse Los Angeles and New York City. And what I loved about this film, not only that it's filmed beautifully acted, and really just across the board a fantastic film, is how with such maturity that it treats children. It doesn't subjugate them to being annoying or comedic relief or things of that nature. It treats them as people in a way that I've never seen a film treat children as people before. Because Joaquin Phoenix's character's whole deal is that he's going around talking to children about what they think the future will be like. And you get these really profound statements from these child actors, which to my understanding are genuine responses to that question, not scripted, which falls in line with Mike Mills's past as a documentarian. But it's really profound what these kids are saying. And the main actor, Woody Norman, Norman was his last name. Woody Norman plays Jesse, who's he's sort of an odd child, and you would think that they would play that for laughs at some points. But as Joaquin Phoenix's character Johnny gets to know him and know why he acts in this way, and these struggles that he's gone through at home, it really you and Johnny understand that while he's not an adult, you can see the seedling that all kids become adults through, and like what they think of the world, and that they can have introspective thoughts and stuff like that. It is a fantastic film. I highly recommend it. And it was really an eye opener for me.
Frankly, I do not think that I had introspective thoughts when I was a child.
Yeah,
Oh, fair enough.
I don't really think I was thinking about much at all.
Yeah,
But I mean, hey, maybe
never
watching this film will make me realize, like, maybe I was, and I just didn't realize it.
Yeah, you will. Maybe you just didn't have a Joaquin Phoenix in your life. Like,
And
I didn't.
Teaching you to be a documentarian as well.
I was my own Joker.
That
How about
very
that?
true. Very true.
Yeah.
Should we do our topic?
Let's do our topic.
Okay.
Let's do it. Now.
Topic time.
Topic time. It's topic time, everyone. Hey, yo, it's topic time. We're doing our most anticipated films of 2022, the year we currently reside in. Welcome everyone to the future.
To the current.
Future is now. Old
The future
man.
is now. Yeah. And if I'm going to kick it off this time, I'm going to kick it off with probably the most pertinent and upcoming anticipated film on a lot of people's list. That is Matt Reeves's The Batman.
The Batman.
This is much anticipated. This is really kicking the year off in terms of superhero dumb. It was going to be Morbius, but they chickened out. They moved that baby to April 1st. April
to
Fool's
a worse
Day.
release date.
Exactly.
April
But
Fool's
boy,
Day,
howdy.
that movie's gonna be a joke.
Yeah, exactly.
It is, and we're going to see it.
Matt Reeves is cracking in 2022 with what is, I'm going to say it right now, going to be a certified banger in the superhero genre and outside of it. Robert Pattinson looks like he has a really fantastic... Matt Pat. Oh, no.
No, wait, no.
Matt Pat as Batman is an interesting prospect. But Robert Pattinson, he looks like he's going to bring a really interesting direction to the character of Bruce Wayne Batman. Zoe Kravitz is in this. We got Colin Farrell as the Penguin. We got Paul Dano as the Riddler. We got Andy Serkis as Alfred. This is a star-studded cast. It looks like they're taking a really dark and gothic sort of mood with the film overall. It looks like the action is going to kick ass. There's that scene in the trailer where Batman is just walking through gunfire. It looks sick. And I feel like all the wrong people are going to be pissed off by this film. So that's another benefit.
Great reason to love it.
All these Snyder heads are gonna hate this film.
I mean, I guess I out of all of the superhero movies I could be excited for, the Batman does seem to be up there. There's one other that's coming out this year that I think will be fun to go and see. But that's like that's the only superhero movie that I'm interested in at all.
Sure, fair enough.
There's no barrier to entry
for DC League of Super.
Yeah, I know.
With Dwayne The Rock Johnson also starring in a mysterious video game movie, or Katamari, as Tucker pointed out in his tweet. Also,
yes,
this is not timely at all.
No go like the tweet. If you go find Tucker's Twitter account, like the tweet if you haven't. It's a good tweet.
Yeah. So the Batman. I mean, it's long. I like long movies. So
it's gonna be 3 hours.
3 hours of Batman.
I love that Hollywood is trusting audiences with long movies now. I love that.
Yeah, I think it's a good change.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I'm very excited for that too. Not on my list though.
Oh, okay.
For variety's sake.
Sure. Timo, do you have a most anticipated?
My most anticipated. I don't really have. My list is in no particular order.
Okay.
But one that I am certainly looking forward to, coming out also in April, sharing the month of Morbius, is the new Robert Eggers movie, The Northman.
Oh, yes, of course.
I continue to be I'm in Viking mood. I'm in a Viking mood right now.
Yes.
And that's a Viking movie. So looks fun. Alexander Skarsgård's good. I mean, the trailer was like super metal. So considering how much I really liked The Lighthouse, and the like half of The Witch that I saw. Yeah.
Oh, all right.
I think this will be fun.
What caused you to only watch half of The Witch?
I wasn't the one watching it. I was like watching it.
Oh, he was too scared.
I like watched part of it as someone else was watching it or something, and then I left.
Yeah. I'm also interested in The Northman. I liked the Robert Eggers' filmography has only gone uphill for me, which is saying that I was not a big fan of The Witch. I like The Lighthouse. Okay, but hopefully the Northman's his magnum opus, but we'll see.
Yeah,
I actually have not seen the trailer for it. I'm a very big trailer guy.
Really?
And it doesn't really show in theaters that much.
I've seen it in theaters a number of times. So you're wrong, Tucker.
Wrong.
You're absolutely wrong. You're not paying
No.
attention. You know the trailer when he goes, "I must avenge father. Avenge father, rescue mother, kill Fjolnir." You know,
Yeah,
the
that's
thing that
the
he
See, the
trailer.
says.
thing is, I have not seen the trailer.
And then he catches that spear and he throws it back. That's sweet.
I haven't seen the trailer.
It's gonna be
It's
sweet.
badass.
It doesn't seem like it has as much like stylistic like brilliance as the Lighthouse does, but
Mhm.
I think that underneath all of that like wrappings of the movie, there's still something there that
Yeah.
Eggers knows what he's doing. So I hope it'll be good, and I'll probably go see it if I can in theaters.
Yeah. Looks like it's got a big old budget. But Tucker, what do you got? What you got? Lay it
I'm
on
gonna
me.
do a quick one.
A quickie.
It's not the Flash. That would be a fast one. But
Nice.
but I'm actually gonna go with Jordan Peele's Nope, because
On my list as well.
as far as I know, we know nothing about that movie.
Absolutely
So-
nothing.
Nope.
So like it's kind of fun.
What we're good at puns over here at
Mhm.
GOB.
But it's fun to not know anything, frankly. And I do trust Jordan Peele enough, having liked it quite a bit, both of his previous films. So just having it. I mean, we're gonna get a trailer before it comes out, believe it or not. But having it be this relatively close to release, I think it's coming in the summer, and not knowing anything has sort of a tantalizing feel to it.
It does.
Yeah.
All we know is that poster, which is a storm cloud with like one of those strings with the multicolored flags coming off of it. You know what I
Kite
mean?
string?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's not. It's like what you hang up at birthdays and stuff like that.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
right. It's
like,
got pendants hanging from it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Pendants. Thank you, Tucker. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's got Steven Yeun in it too, so
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's a good sign.
It's gonna be sweet. Okay. I am going to move away from superheroes and go to my
Ew.
personal superhero that who we've brought up a number of times in this video already. That is
Jared
one
Leto?
Mr. Tom Cruise in
Oh,
Top Gun.
I thought it
Maverick.
was gonna be Morbius, dude.
No. Top Gun Maverick. I love the original Top Gun. It is one of the movies that my mom showed me when I was young. She's big into those. She grew up in the 80s and she's big into all those classic 80s movies. But Top Gun Maverick, after a series of delays, is finally coming out this May. We get the return of everyone's favorite Captain Pete Maverick Mitchell, Tom Cruise, who, for some reason, after what's it been since the 80s? 40 years has not graduated beyond being a pilot to being a general or something. Still a pilot in the Air Force.
Well, maybe he just likes it a lot. And frankly, I feel like that's what that's gonna be part of the plot of the film. Is that, man, he's a fan of being a pilot.
Directed by Joseph Kosinski. Tucker, directed by Joseph Kosinski. You know, a little Oblivion and Tron Legacy fame. So maybe this upward trend of his films will continue. But yeah, I think this film looks awesome. There's some shots and stuff of like the fighter jets and everything. That's what really I don't think the original Top Gun has a lot of like cool jet stuff because they were held back by the time. I think it's just cool 80s dudes being cool 80s dudes, and they're returning in this. Val Kilmer is back, surprisingly, as taking up his iconic role as Iceman. Miles Teller is in this film again. Or not again. He was not in the first one.
Was he alive?
Unclear.
Wait, no one knows how old Miles Teller is. He just fucking appeared one day.
Top Gun Maverick is going to be sweet. They're going to bring back that iconic Top Gun score that they have in the trailer. Ding, 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 ding. It's great. Tom Cruise is going to race another jet. Tom Cruise is going to race another jet on a motorcycle, and I can't wait to see what kind of crazy stuff he does. Because as we know,
jets are faster than motorcycles.
No, Tucker, but actually, he does lose in the original one. Because he cheers them on as they fly away. But in any case, it's going to be sweet because Tom Cruise, as we all know,
how the movie ends.
Loves
he loses the race.
No, he doesn't. The movie's not about him trying to race a jet.
I don't even need to say it. I know how physics works. I know how vehicles work.
It's gonna
stupid movie.
It's gonna be sweet because Tom Cruise loves risking life and limb at his age of 57 or whatever he is, and maybe he's gonna dangle himself down from a fighter jet. Who's to say? But in any case, this is gonna be a sweet nostalgia baiting. I'm gonna be in the theater with a bunch of other people my parents' age, and we're gonna have a grand old time in Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah. Yes, you are, Tanner.
Yeah.
I think
Timo, you got. Oh, so you got another to me?
Yeah, I do. If you remember back to the film Booksmart, Olivia Wilde's
Oh.
got a new film coming out
Oh, she does indeed.
in the fall of this year, and so based on that film, I'm somewhat excited for her next one. Don't Worry, Darling, because I felt like the
Yeah.
first Booksmart, her directorial debut, had a lot of style and a lot of flair to it. So I'm just kind of looking to see how she develops as a director. And the plot looks, the premise looks interesting enough. I'm not a Harry Styles mega fan, so I don't need to.
What?
I'm not like gonna, go crawling
Well,
all over
you're a
everything.
Florence Pugh mega fan, right? Aren't you, Timo?
Damn right I am, and so that's why I'm going to see old Florence. But yeah, looks interesting, and it's in a while, so we'll probably get some more
Yeah.
trailers and maybe some
Coming out
more.
in September, I believe.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So that's something that I'm looking forward to.
This is a stacked cast. Florence Pugh, Harry Styles, Chris Pine, Olivia Wilde is in the movie herself. Gemma Chan, Nick Kroll. Look at all these famous people.
Yeah.
Wow.
Look at all these people.
But you know what hasn't even stacked their cast?
What hasn't even stacked their cast?
A
Tucker?
stacked cast with Keegan Michael Key and Seth Rogen and Anya Taylor-Joy.
Oh my god.
And
oh.
and of course oh god, Chris Pratt. Why
Chris
I
Pratt.
don't know why I could.
He's so cool.
No, you got.
I don't know how you.
Of course,
could
we're talking about the Super Mario Brothers movie, which is
Yeah.
going to be the biggest meme for the entire year. Just as we're leading up to it, these trailers are gonna be fucking huge. They're gonna be memes to death. If the casting announcement was as big of a meme as it was, can you imagine when this movie releases and the amount of just horse shit that's gonna happen? And frankly, I don't have high hopes for the movie.
Yeah, Illumination doesn't have a good track record.
No, yeah, Illumination is the reason I'm worried about this film. I do think that maybe having someone else being the people at Nintendo who have some sort of reverence for their own characters, working alongside them might mean that this is a superior product and not the fucking unhinged Minions shit that they've been doing for the last decade. Yeah. But they do great animation. Their movies look very good, and it'll be interesting to see what kind of visual style, what kind of story they go. This is going to be ridiculous. This is the first Mario movie since the live action one, and the first Nintendo movie since that as well. So
wow, that's right.
Well, I guess you can count Detective Pikachu if you want. But,
yeah.
But this is going to be a huge fucking meme.
Yeah, I agree.
No doubt about it. Seth Rogen is Donkey Kong. Jack Black is Bowser.
I forgot that Jack Black was
Jack
Bowser.
Black. Oh my.
At least we know that he'll do a great job.
Yeah.
And Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong is going to be fucking hilarious.
Absolutely. I can only hope that they'll actually be in most of the movie.
Yeah, not just.
I don't think Donkey Kong's going to be in a lot, frankly.
Oh no.
No.
Okay. Well, I took a brief reprieve. I took a brief reprieve from talking about superhero movies, but we're back, baby. We're back with what is probably going to be the next Spider-Man No Way Home. No, not Morbius. The next Spider-Man No Way Home is going to be Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Probably.
Now talk about a film in which they're probably hiding a lot from us.
Believe it or not, yes.
Yeah. I'd say that this is whatever is in this has been kept a better secret than Spider-Man No Way Home, and it's been long enough. The 3 Spider-Men are in Spider-Man No Way Home. We all know this by now. But we don't really know what's going to be in this. We know we know they have some big surprises in store because they're doing multiverse. It's implied.
Mm-hmm.
But based on the trailer, we know America Chavez. We know that Wanda Maximoff. We know that Stephen Strange. We all know that. But
we know that Stephen Strange.
We know that
Stephen Strange. I guess we do. If you say so, Tanner. If you say so.
Now I'm going to allow people to quickly mute this as I say this. But so in 3, 2, 1, we're maybe getting X-Men. So that's a thing. There we go. Tucker also took off his headset, so I can appreciate that. I won't spend too much more time on Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness because we don't know a lot about this, but it is on there for my most anticipated because it could be as crazy as Get Out. We got, well, not as the movie Get Out, but crazy as all Get Out, I should say.
Frankly, it'll probably be crazier than Get Out.
It very likely. You got Sam Raimi attached to this. He's probably gonna pull some wacky stuff out of his hat. I'm very excited to see what they do. I'm only hoping that we can get good tickets.
God, that's gonna be tough.
It was a chore already with No Way Home.
That was probably the biggest chore we'll ever have to deal with in terms of getting good tickets, frankly.
Yeah.
But I'm also very excited for this movie. It's going to be probably for the biggest thing of the year. I frankly think it'll be a bigger deal than the Batman. I'm more excited for it than the Batman because I think this has a lot of possibility of what direction the future of my favorite movie franchise of all time is going to go. Connected to Doctor Strange, who's not really a character I care too much about, but there's a lot of stuff that they could tackle here. And I'm a big fan of Wanda Maximoff and America Chavez, and who the fuck knows what's going to happen. I'm just worried, tentatively so, that it's not going to have the strongest story or emotional beats, and instead you're going to be like, hey, it's a character from a movie that you saw. But they handled No Way Home very well.
Look out, it's Eric Bana's the Hulk or whatever.
It's certainly possible. And that would be fun, but I hope there's an emotional story and a cool push to the future to see what's happening next.
Yes. Timo, you got another one?
I do. We don't exactly know when this one's coming out, but we've heard a lot of rumors and a lot of cast announcements. Extremely stacked cast. It's a sequel, Knives Out 2.
Don't Look Up 2.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I loved Knives Out. I've seen it many times, and I cannot wait for this second one. It'll be doing festival release, they say, for the fall. So maybe, hopefully, they have some festivals in Austin, and I can go see it early.
Oh, yeah,
maybe at Austin Film Fest or something. It is Netflix though, so we'll probably catch it at home afterward.
They paid an inordinate amount of money for the rights to these sequels.
Less than the EA acquisition, I think.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
I feel
okay. Not billions and billions.
Knives Out 4 and 5 though. Knives Out 4 and 5 are
going to those are going to be $100 billion movies.
Hundreds of billions of dollars.
Do we know if there's more being made after 2?
No.
Yes, we do know that there's 3. We do know that there are 3.
Okay, I haven't heard about that part.
A Knives Out trilogy.
But I mean, it's Daniel
Craig. Knives Out, or Knives Outist?
Knives In.
Knives Inist.
I mean, the cast is like, holy crap. And I thought the first film was really well done. They're taking their time on this one. It's been a couple of years since the first one came out. And I believe that Rian Johnson can write a twisting, turning mystery. I basically want the plot of Knives Out 1 just
again,
and I don't know what's going to happen. And so I could just watch Benoit Blanc, and then it's a donut with a hole. And there's a donut inside the hole. Or whatever that line. It's great. It's great. I just loved it.
It's great. So, Knives Out is fantastic. Apparently, this one is taking place in Greece, so we're not in a cozy Pacific Northwestern home. We're on the Isles of Greece, surrounded by rich people. The cast, including, I pulled it up here in case, so we can just bask in the glory of this cast. I pulled it off.
Can't believe it.
Daniel Craig, of course. Janelle Monáe, Catherine Hahn, Dave Bautista, Edward Norton, Madeline Klein, I don't know who that is, Leslie Odom Jr., Jessica Henwick, Kate Hudson, and Ethan Hawke.
Yeah. Did you say Janelle Monáe in there too?
I said Janelle Monáe.
Yeah. So that's a lot.
Yeah.
Probably won't be super dark academia like the first one, but maybe I was gonna make a spin on words for Grease and dark. It wasn't gonna happen.
Okay.
All right.
Tucker?
My next movie is going to be the end of a saga. Because Halloween is ending this year when Halloween ends.
I wondered if you were going to do this.
And frankly, I'm excited for this movie because I like dumb horror movies. And I like a lot. No, I'm going to take that back. I like a couple of the Halloween franchise movies, even though I've seen all of them. And holy shit, Halloween Kills sucks so bad. That movie is really bad. Fucking awful. And hopefully put back together at the end, because frankly, a lot of the disappointment of Halloween Kills is that it's very clearly the middle part of a trilogy in which this exists just to have a second movie in a trilogy.
Yep.
So interesting things could happen at the end of Halloween Ends. And it'll be, as a Halloween fan, it'll be interesting to see how they end this ridiculous saga. But I actually don't have high hopes for it because Halloween Kills sucked so far.
Well, the other thing that worries me about this is that David Gordon Green, the director, has said, and I think I told you this a while ago when this broke, Tucker, that this movie is there's a time jump between Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends. This movie now takes place in our modern era because the first two took place in 2018 or whatever. This one will take place in 2022.
Okay.
Or 2020 or 2021 or something like that. And he said the pandemic will be involved in the story, and it will have sort of political commentary on the pandemic.
Ooh, wasn't there political commentary in Halloween Kills that didn't work?
Oh yeah, there was quite a bit of that. So, and based on track records, big blockbusters that try to fold in pandemic stuff and try to make commentary on said thing don't do it especially well or in any meaningful way. So maybe Halloween Ends is the one that does it, but I don't have high hopes, quite honestly. Oh, okay. Well, what else do I got? Speaking of stuff that is probably going to end in a giant train wreck, I have The Flash on here just to see. Not because I'm rearing to see this one. I want to see how they do it. I really want to see how this turns out.
Yeah.
Because and this is more potential spoilers, so yeah, I'll put some time codes down in here that you can skip ahead to when the potential spoilers for The Flash are done. But I've told Tucker this, and Timo, I don't think you care.
No,
but
I do not.
But apparently, spoiler starting now, they're going to wipe every Zack Snyder film from the canon of the DCEU.
Oh, I've seen this stuff
in a single film.
Snyder fans cope, Snyder fans seethe. That's all I can say.
And
which is a fascinating. That's the weirder part, frankly.
Yeah.
The fact that they're just like they're picking and choosing. They're taking out the worst elements of the DCU. Not that the Snyder films are actually the worst elements of the DCU, frankly. Yeah. But the weirdest part about all of this is those are the basis of the entire DCEU.
Yeah. Those are only the exception Superman and being Batman.
Yeah, the only exception being Shazam. Like that's the only one that's completely detached from it.
Yeah, the original.
No, because Diana was introduced in fucking
yes, of course.
BVS. So,
yeah, true.
So it'll be fascinating to see how they pick and choose this. But even if this movie sucks, even if this movie is a fucking shit show that tries to do Flashpoint and Batman stories and multiverse shit and all
Michael
sorts of resets,
Keaton is also in this. Supergirl is in it.
That DC Comics has the comics themselves has such a shitty track record of, hey, this isn't working. Let's make up some bullshit reason to reset everything to square one. The fact that they have to do it in the movies too is really on a meta level entertaining to me, and it could signal a good refresh for the future. Because the last two DCEU movies to come out are both good. The Suicide Squad and Birds of Prey are both good movies.
True.
So fucking Oh wait, Wonder Woman 84 was between those.
Yeah, that was December. So
God damn it.
So no.
No. Two of them were good recently. So hopefully this means a better track record for the future.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully. But
I'm also not excited for Ezra Miller because I think he's a really fucking annoying Flash. And guess what? There's two of them now.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I will remain hopeful, Tucker, but we have to remember that yes, the WB execs were the ones, and Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot or whatever were the ones who put out Wonder Woman 84. So sans Zack Snyder, the DCEU isn't looking too hot either.
No.
Let's see. What? Oh wait, I just did The Flash. Timo.
Yeah. Well, another film that I'm kind of in the list of stuff that that the news sources that I looked at thinks are coming out in 2022. But since they have no official release dates, this stuff could get pushed, as films are off to do nowadays. But the new Martin Scorsese film, Killers of the Flower Moon.
Oh, yes, of course.
It looks interesting. It's Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro, FBI story. It's based on a book that is very well received. So I'm hopeful that this is going to be a good movie. And it's a Martin Scorsese crime film. Like, what's not to like?
Yeah.
Really?
Crime
I
flick,
can't
crime
fucking
flick,
believe
crime
it.
flick. Oh, we're all fans of Marty here. Let's not
Yeah,
get
no,
around. Yeah.
he's a believe it or not, he's a very good director. I've liked all the movies of his I've seen, I believe,
Yeah.
and his modern stuff hasn't missed yet, as far as
Nope.
I'm aware.
Irishman, very good. The
That's his only
Irishman.
modern movie.
Yep.
That's the only one.
I mean, let's be frank. That's the only Martin Scorsese movie that's been released since we are really cognizant of being film watchers. So
Precisely my point, Tucker. Modern history started when I became cognizant of film.
yeah,
Exactly.
no, that's definitely true.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm also excited for Killers of the Flower Moon. I like the set photos of Marty wearing his big cowboy hat.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun.
Yep.
Isn't there something
Tucker.
weird about the CGI on someone in that movie or something? Or like, was that the movie? Like, oh, you can't even tell that it's this person.
I don't know.
Am I wrong?
But you might be thinking of The Irishman, because that was a whole deal in that.
Never mind.
Okay.
So I actually, unfortunately, I have to next one because I wrote down one too many.
That's all right.
But I gotta skip Everything Everywhere All at Once, which is a shame because it was directed by my beloved Daniels, who made me Swiss Army Man. They fucking fed it to me on a plate, and I'm like, oh yes. And this movie seems batshit crazy. So guess what? I didn't skip it. I just talked about it really fast. But Thor: Love and Thunder, is God. So I just need to share this story somewhere. All right, for BLB continuity's sake, I remember being on vacation in Los Angeles after I graduated from high school, sitting in the back of the car. My mom's driving around, and I'm in the back and glued to my fucking phone because Phase 4 is being announced. Fucking Kevin Feige's on stage. Twitter is a fucking blaze, and Phase 4, of course, very great announcement slate, and they just catered it to me. They're like, guess what? Well, they didn't announce it at the time, but you're getting Miss Marvel. You're getting a Visions comic. And guess what? We're doing the Mighty Thor storyline and Unworthy Thor, and it's going to be fucking great. And Taika Waititi is back, and fucking Jane Foster Thor is in here, and presumably the Guardians, and Chris Hemsworth returning for the first time after Endgame. And this movie it's called Love and Thunder, and it's got one of the greatest fucking logos of all time. So holy shit, I'm so excited for this.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm also very excited. That promo image is looking a little rough. I kind of hope they brush up that Thor armor.
Why'd you have to kill my fucking hype like
Sorry.
that? All the you're right. All the like taken from 10 feet away of like a poster, footage or promo art that we've seen is really gross. So actually, oh no.
But also the set photos of Chris Hemsworth, he's looking jacked as hell, and I'm here for it. He's wearing like he's wearing like a sleeveless red leather jacket and like 80s rocker jeans. I'm all in. Absolutely. And he's got
just a vest.
Yes. Anyway, my last one that I'm doing is coming very late in the year, so this very well may not be a 2022 film. This could be pushed to 2023 because we are in the throes of a pandemic, believe it or not. But I'm going to stick by my guns and say that Damien Chazelle's Babylon is coming out in December of 2022. Babylon is had in the transition of silent to sound film in Hollywood, and as is a common theme among these, has a stacked cast. It is Brad Pitt, Margot Robbie, Catherine Waterston, Samara Weaving, Max Minghella, Tobey Maguire. All these big old stars. I'm sure there'll be more that are released. Maybe not. But anyway, I love Damien Chazelle. I've loved both of his feature films. I mean, all three. He
has done three.
First Man is all right, but Whiplash and La La Land. Let me tell you.
He's the big guy, honestly. Thinking of all the new up and coming directors. I mean, of course, I love Jordan Peele. I love Robert Eggers. Ari Aster is also good. Like, there's a lot of fun up and coming directors, but no one has quite got the track record of Damien Chazelle putting out two of the best movies of the decade, just like back to back. And he's like, why not? I'll just start with Whiplash and La La Land.
Easy. Yeah. Why doesn't everyone do this?
Yeah.
But Damien Chazelle hopefully coming out of the gate swinging with his fourth feature film.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, looks great. And I can't. Brad Pitt. Oh man, Brad Pitt.
Yeah, Brad Pitt. Timo, do you have a fifth and final one?
Yeah, let's see. Which one am I gonna pick? I'm picking between two. To be my fifth and final one. Let's just say that the honorable mention goes to Apollo 10.5, new Richard Linklater film. Looks to be mixed
Ooh,
medium.
What the fuck did you just say?
Apollo 10.5? I've
Yeah.
not heard of this. Timo, enlighten us.
It might
That's
come out.
fucking
It might
news.
come out. Who knows if it'll come out this year? But that's not the one that I'm gonna go for. I'm gonna go
All
with.
right,
I'm
it'll
going
remain
with
a mystery.
Mumblecore, baby. There's a new Noah Baumbach, Adam Driver, Greta Gerwig,
Oh.
White Noise.
White Noise is interesting. I want to read the book before that comes out.
Yeah,
I've heard good things about the book.
you know, I might see myself a mumblecore enjoyer, and so you know, I think there's something in this film. The little bit I've seen about it makes me a little excited. Of course, most of the films that I've come up with are all at like the end of the year, so well, I'll have
Award
stuff to
season,
watch.
you know.
They're kind of awards movies, but they're the big name awards movies. So
Yes.
I'm sure that as we get into late August of this year in our Lord 2022, we'll get buzz about all kinds of crazy films I've never heard of, and can get excited about those. But for now, my final one.
It's got the cheat in it.
Yeah, from
Yeah,
what
it's
I
got
know,
Don Cheadle. Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, hell yeah.
Tucker might have a plot synopsis pulled up, but from what I remember hearing is that well, I never mind. Is that there's something about a nuclear power plant leak,
It's like a toxic airborne event, or I think is what it's something.
An event?
Yeah, this is the toxic airborne event movie of the year.
Wow.
Tucker, lay us down with your
I'm
fifth
gonna
and
lay
final
some
pick.
fucking pipe right in here and right now because
Right.
my most anticipated film of the year because everything else sort of has these minor caveats to it, like nope, we don't know anything about it yet.
Right.
Thor, unfortunately, those promo art's not looking great. Halloween ends is coming after Halloween Kills. That's not a good sign. The Mario Bros. Movie could be a fucking shit show, but the movie that I think is going to be a certified fucking banger is Lightyear. That trailer gets me going like none other. Toy Story is so fucking important to me, and of course, this doesn't have a ton to do with Toy Story, but the idea of Pixar taking a step into a more grand direction of this trailer is just epic sci-fi goodness in animated form. That's not something we've really gotten before on this scale, and I think it's very exciting because of that. I'm gonna go fucking watch the Lightyear trailer after we're done with this and just sit half the year. It's weird. I don't know why I'm so excited. I mean, obviously, I've explained why I'm so excited for it, but to the degree that I am, because no one else is really talking about this movie. It's like the trailer came out and they're like, "That looks pretty cool." It's got Buzz Lightyear in it, but the trailer gets me going like no fucking other. So goddamn it.
The animation looks fantastic. I will give it that.
If we can only,
that is Pixar's whole MO,
Yeah, recall the latest Toy Story film looked mind-bogglingly good. So can really only expect the same thing.
Great.
If I may put a pin in that as probably next year's best animated feature winner. I'm gonna stake my claim right now.
He's getting an early prediction in there, but
for next year's Oscars.
Wow.
But there you have it, folks.
Yeah.
There you have it. Those are our most anticipated films of 2022 and what we've been watching in January. Thank you so much for watching this first episode of Back Lot Banter. Leave what you've been watching down in the comments. Tell us about it in the Discord channel. That link's in the description once again. Let us know what your thoughts on bringing back Back Lot Banter. If there's any topic ideas you have, if there's any changes you'd like made to the format, we are receptive to that, and we'll see you next month.
Hey guys, Hype House 4 Ohio edition.
It's Tucker, Abram, Tanner, and Timo. Today, we're announcing something amazing for the Back Log Banter community.
Ohio?
We're moving to Ohio.
Ohio is the BLB Hype House.
The whole state?
The whole state.
Thank you.